Okay, I hit my little.
Hello, everybody. This is Susan Heaton-Wright from the SuperStar Communicator podcast. You know what? I always try to provide the most incredible guests. And this lady on the other end of the internet across the not the North Sea, the Irish Sea, geography graduate. Um, I am absolutely delighted to have somebody that you will love to listen to. And this is Louise Brogan. And I've known Louise on the internet for a few years, but she is the CEO of Louise Brogan Limited. Interesting name. I wonder how you came up with that one. Helping entrepreneurs and small business leaders leverage LinkedIn to raise their profile and generate leads and sales. And the author of Raise Your Visibility on LinkedIn, which I've read, which is brilliant. Highly recommend it. An easy to read guide on how to leverage LinkedIn to raise your profile and build a network of value. She's the host of Raise Your Visibility Online podcast and YouTube channel with over 110,000 subscribers. Big win. She shares actionable tips for growing businesses online. She's the winner of the Digital Marketer of the Year award. Louise has been recognized in the top 100 small businesses and top 100 female entrepreneurs in the UK. She was honoured to represent UK small business at Buckingham Palace, meeting King Charles. Louise has spoken at conferences including Social Media Marketing World, European PEOPIL, TubeFest, Women in Finance, Tech Connect, and Social Media Fest Ireland. Her expertise has been featured in Forbes, Huffington Post, Social Media Examiner, The Guardian, and The Times. Beyond her passion for helping solopreneurs, coaches, and consultants through workshops and one-to-one training, she also works with larger organisations like BT, BBC, and the Chartered Institute of Accountants, England and Wales, and the Law Society. Whether you're a small business or a larger company, Louise is dedicated to helping you build your brand and drive results online. Welcome, Louise.
Thank you very much, Susan. I think I probably need to chop that up into about a third of the length. It's very long.
Own it. Own it. I loved reading it, and I'm sure that the listeners will love finding out some of the background with you.
Oh, yes, yes.
What an honour for you to represent the UK small business by meeting King Charles.
It was an honor. It was amazing. Yeah, it was very unexpected. And when it first came through, Susan, I thought it was like not a scam, but I didn't really trust the email. Didn't I was like, what is this? And I asked somebody who I knew, how, how do I know these people? I asked somebody who I knew who had worked at the palace. Did they recognize the person's name in the email? And she said, "Oh, absolutely, yes, yes, this is real." Um, it was very exciting. It's very
Oh,
exciting.
absolutely. Well done, you.
Thank you.
And you're doing incredible work in what I would call the digital marketing space for
Yes,
LinkedIn and also YouTube. I mean, 110,000 subscribers is a significant number.
yeah. It's Yeah, I'm pushing. I'm over 3.7 million views on the channel now. And the part of the problem, Susan, is when you work with people and you support other people, is finding the time to actually keep creating your own stuff. And I have been a little bit neglectful of my channel recently. I was really, really good at being very steady, releasing every week on a weekly basis when it was really growing to those numbers. And I haven't had quite the time to do it. Um, so I need to get 2026, I've got to get back on that regular pro, video creation for YouTube. But like as I've got a podcast, a YouTube channel, and LinkedIn, and I'm working with my clients. So it's like carving out the time to
Yes.
make that happen because I met somebody in Dublin who learned how to use LinkedIn for his company he worked for in India. And he was at an event I spoke at in Dublin, and he came up to me at the end and he told me this, and I nearly cried. It was so amazing. So that's a lot of views, but at the end of those views are individual people just learning from
Yes.
me, and it was massively impactful. I don't think that man understands how much that impacted me that he came and said that to me. It wasn't like somebody locally saying, "Oh yeah, I've watched you," because I hear that quite a bit. "Oh yeah, I've watched your videos, etc., etc." And that's lovely, but to think
Yes.
of somebody on another continent watching them was amazing.
That you've had that reach,
Yeah.
that impact on them. You've influenced them positively.
Yeah, it's like when you look at the analytics. I think I've reached like over 80 countries or something. It's crazy.
It's just incredible.
Yeah, it is.
Many congratulations to you.
Thank you very much.
Now, your sweet spot is LinkedIn,
Yes.
and your fabulous book, Raise Your Visibility Online, LinkedIn,
Mhm.
is a brilliant book. And
Thank
there are
you.
so many things that I've taken away from that.
Mhm.
Now, let's get our cards on the table. There are
Okay.
some weird things going on in LinkedIn these
There
days.
are, but I can explain them.
Okay, please do.
Okay. So I've done a couple of webinars about this, and it's good news for us, Susan, actually. The way LinkedIn has changed is actually good news for us. I saw somebody today. So I'll tell you a little story quickly. A person that I have worked with, she not in terms of she hasn't hired me. I have hired people that she works with in her organization. And she is commenting on someone's post on LinkedIn, the word LinkedIn, and my heart's sinking because I'm thinking to her, oh, she's doing that thing that so there's things you should not be doing on LinkedIn, and one of them is comment below with the word LinkedIn if you want my free guide to blah 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 blah. And the guy who's doing it, he's got like 4,000 people have commented on his post, including someone that I know. And I'm thinking, why are you commenting on this post? This is everything I talk about. You don't need his free thing. But also, LinkedIn is cutting down on that, cutting it. They are cutting out the rubbish, let's for want of a better word. So LinkedIn, who are owned by Microsoft, are very heavily focused on using AI in their systems, not AI in your content creation. Massive difference. When I say to people, LinkedIn are very heavy on AI, they think, oh, you mean all those AI comments that are coming out and it just looks like what you call AI slop. No, no, they are using AI in the back end. And that is why people are seeing such a huge difference in their reach and their engagement because the spammy things are not working anymore. Thank goodness. So, in the back end of LinkedIn, there are multiple algorithmic systems that decide what to show you and who to suggest you to connect with, etc. That is all being operated by an AI system called 360 Brew, as in coffee, and it is operating in real time. What that means is if you're on LinkedIn today and you start talking about helicopters, it's going to say, oh, Louise is interested in helicopters. Let's find her people who talk about helicopters. And that's a really random example. So it's not thinking, oh, over the last 6 months, Louise has talked about helicopters for 60% of the time. 10% of the time, she's talked about her local network. 10% of the time, she's talked about her podcast. And 10% of the time, she's talked about something else. And 10% of the time, she just posted selfies with a coffee cup.
Yeah.
So it is going to say whatever you're talking about is what we think you want to be known for, which means you've got to focus. You've got to get focused and talk about what you want to be known for on LinkedIn and less of the thank I've always tried to stay very positive online. Less of the rants, less of the
Yeah.
negativity. That stuff is not going to work for you anymore. Thank goodness. Again, cleaning it up, bit of a sweep through. So It's kind of funny because lots of people have been saying, oh, reach is down, impressions are down, it's horrendous, I'm not getting anywhere with LinkedIn. I am having the opposite effect, Susan.
Are you?
Because, yeah, because I am talking about the stuff that helps and serves my audience. So there's a whole ecosystem. I talk about this in the book. It's not just what do you write about? It's like there's four pillars of LinkedIn and they've all got to work together. So if you think about a three-legged stool, if you take away one piece of wood of that stool, you don't have a stool. You take away the seat, you've got three sticks. You take away one of the legs, you've got a stool that falls over. You need to have all four bits. So if you think about your LinkedIn profile is your foundation of
Right.
everything you do, right? When I go to your profile, it should be very clear to me what it is that you do and who you help and how you can help me, not shouting about how amazing you are. So how can you help me? Because human beings are very self-interested. We just want to know how you can help us. Then, once you've got your profile sorted out, then your content should reflect what your profile is saying. So if you say, I teach people how to use LinkedIn for business, your content should be teaching people how to use LinkedIn for business. It should not be teaching people how to use LinkedIn for business, teaching people how to get their next job, teaching agencies how to recruit, staff. That's multiple different topics. So the AI is like, well, what does she really talk about? We don't really know, so we're not going to show it to anybody. So if you can get your profile right, get your content right, third pillar is about your network rather than like that guy who has got 4,000 people commenting on his post. He is going to grow his following, yes, massively. But when it comes to talking about what he actually wants to help people with, he's all of a sudden got this network of people who don't care about him.
Yeah.
So it's far better to have a small and mighty network of people who care about what it is you're talking about, so that when you post, they know who you are and they like how you talk because they remember who you are, which is, you know, you still talk about the same thing. So they engage with your content and so therefore you get more visibility as a result, but the right visibility in front of the people that you want to work with. So yeah, it's about having a whole system that works together is much better. And there was a while there, it seems to have died down now. There's a while there where people are saying, oh, LinkedIn is gender biased. And
Yes. That's still
women,
going on, isn't it?
well, it's not happening in my news feed because I haven't engaged with any of it. And I also don't believe it. And that might be a bit inflammatory to some people. But we know that AI systems are biased. We know that because of the way they've been constructed.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's not that the AI is saying, oh, this person is female, let's show them to more people. What a lot of people were doing were writing posts saying, I'm changing my gender to male because LinkedIn is holding women back. Well, that got people all up out of their seats going, what? What are you talking about? So they're all having discussions on the comments below. And it wasn't that they changed their gender to a man that made them get more visibility. It was because they were talking about something that everyone was jumping in on. And so LinkedIn's like, oh, this is a topic that some people are interested in. Let's show it to more people. So it was it was like not self-defeating, but there's so much engagement on that content, not because they changed their profiles to male, but because they were talking about something that a lot of people were getting very worked up about. Also, LinkedIn legally can't be biased against women. They're not like I was gonna say a tin pot dictatorship, but that's probably a really wrong language to use. But they are a very professional
Yes.
organization. And having been on LinkedIn and been active on LinkedIn for many years, they are very pro diversity and inclusion. They really are. Like no other, I don't think there's any other social media platform that asks you to add your pronouns in as part of your profile. And International Women's Day is the single biggest day of traffic for LinkedIn.
Really? I didn't realize that.
Yeah, see,
Actually,
these are all the nuances, Susan, that are inside my head.
oh, that's amazing. So
Yeah.
if you are posting about that topic, say from a month beforehand, that will make a massive difference, for example. Because of
Hmm.
course you and I will be involved in that day.
Yes.
I,
Yeah.
I I've already had my first booking, or had
Oh,
back in July.
fabulous. Yes. So, if I wanted to be known for talking about those issues, then that's what I would talk about, and then I would get massive visibility on people for people who are interested in those issues. So I think I like the way the algorithm has changed because it fits very much in line what I've always said and what I talk about in my book. If you want to raise your profile online, just niche down into a specific area, talk about it in a way that helps people and starts conversations, and you can't go wrong.
So, what are your three top tips to using LinkedIn? I know that later on I've asked about three top tips, but specifically about LinkedIn, because you
Mhm.
talked about the four pillars and your
Yeah.
foundation.
Yes.
Anything else?
Yes. I
You
think,
you could just tell me.
okay. Well, the other thing about AI and the big change is there's something called lost in distance. And this is like a lost dash in dash distance. It's almost like an IT term. Well, it probably is an IT term or a techie term. So this is really important for our headline. So my number one tip is look at your LinkedIn headline. Your headline, I was talking about this to a client earlier today, Susan, and she said, Louise, what is the headline? I thought, okay, Louise, take a step
Oh,
back here, take a
yeah.
step back. So your headline is when you look at your LinkedIn profile or you look at Susan's LinkedIn profile or my LinkedIn profile, it's the bit underneath my name that tells you what it is that I do. If we were working for a corporation, it would be our job titles. But as business owners and entrepreneurs, it's what you want to be known for. And the lost in distance part of this is with AI, is we don't want you to hide what it is that you do away down that that profile headline. What I mean by that is if you want to be known as a speaker or a communicator, that should be at the very start of your headline. Because if you say things like, I help people to get visibility through LinkedIn, LinkedIn is about 10 words down the line, so it is lost in distance.
Right, okay.
So the key things, this is for humans will see the first line of your headline when you comment on LinkedIn, you will see someone's face, name, and headline. But the AI is picking up what does this person do based off of the first words in that headline, and that is really important.
Oh, I'm going to change mine because I
Right.
put empowering leaders as the first two words.
Hmm.
It might be worthwhile jigging that around.
Yes, have a little play around with it. I have created a GPT to help with this, but I haven't actually released it into the world yet. But when that's out, people can use it to help write their headlines.
Oh, please send a that. No, that's great.
So that's the first tip. The second tip is don't get overwhelmed by posting on LinkedIn. You know, commenting on other people's posts will get you as much visibility as writing your own posts, but be strategic about it. So if you think about for example, we just talked about International Women's Day there. If there's someone listening to this and they want to be booked as a speaker for International Women's Day, find conversations that are happening with conference hosts and people who book speakers for events, people that source speakers, maybe speaker agencies, and comment under their posts because their network will be full of the people that you want to hire you, but do it in a conversational way. Um, don't just comment on people for the sake of it. And I unfollowed somebody today who's got, I think, like 140,000 followers because I can see them doing this tactic, but it's driving me a little bit nuts because I think that they're doing it so much. I think their comments are just really I can see it as very generic. But I would imagine somebody else sees that post and sees this comment. They think, oh, that's a really nice thing to say. Whereas I'm going, oh, you're suffocating me with this genericness. So I actually started to unfollow this person because I don't want to see that in my newsfeed anymore. Which kind of leads me to the third tip, and that is you are your own algorithm. Okay. Don't worry about social media trends, you know, tricks, tips. Just engage with content that interests you, that is part of the work that you do. Now, you do need to think LinkedIn, if you're on there for business, you do need to think, right, I want to focus on business. I'm going to connect with people who are going to either be potential clients or who work with my clients or collaborators, and be strategic about it. But you teach LinkedIn what you want to see by what you comment on, what you engage with, and what you write and who you connect with. You drive your own algorithm. And if your news feed is full of people complaining and ranting about stuff, and you're like, it's such a negative place, unfollow those people and start to look for posts that you do enjoy engaging with and commenting on, and it will start to change. And you'll start to see stuff in your news feed that you actually enjoy reading, and you can easily write a comment because you're genuinely interested in it. And that is when you start to get people looking at you and interested in what you have to say, and that leads to business.
And these are just brilliant comments and brilliant tips that you're sharing with me. What are some of your biggest success stories that you're able to tell us about without breaking any confidentiality?
Oh yeah. So well there's a lady I talk about quite regularly. But I actually got an email this week. So I've launched a group program, Susan, because I'm kind of going back to my first love, which is teaching. So I did a degree in geography.
Did you?
Yes.
Did you know I did? When did I tell you that?
You mentioned that at the very start. I
Oh
was like, oh
yes.
my goodness.
But I still don't know where the ROC is. Yes, I do.
So
It's a great degree to have.
it's brilliant. I loved it, and I did so much human geography,
I
now I
loved
can
human
see
geography.
that really, and I genuinely talked when I had my babies. I genuinely thought, I wonder if I can go back to university and do anthropology. Anyway,
Yeah. Some people did swap at my
yeah,
university for
yeah.
anthropology.
So, but when I did my geography degree, so I went to university in 1992, and people just said to me, "Oh, you're going to be a teacher." And I was
Mm.
like, no, I am not, because I'm very stubborn. I'm like, everyone's saying, be a teacher, be a teacher. I'm like, no, I'm not going to be a teacher. But it's ironic because what do I love doing is teaching people. I love teaching people
Oh,
LinkedIn.
but adult learning is very different from
Yes,
being in a classroom.
yes. And my sister is a teacher and she loves it and she's wonderful
Yes,
at it.
and that is brilliant.
Yes. So, anyway, the wonderful story I got yesterday, it's just is really timely, is in the first group program, one of the women, so we're two-thirds of the way through, and one of the women wrote me a beautiful testimonial for it, how much she's getting out of it. And she said she's already got a client from it
Wow, that's
after seven
brilliant.
weeks.
Oh,
So I was like, happy days. But what the story, there's a couple of different stories that I can share with you. So one of them is a lady who came to me in maybe like 2022, 23, I think, and asked me for help with LinkedIn. And she was helping companies with Microsoft products. And we were chatting about it a wee bit, and I said, you could really focus down on one, and so she did. So she started to focus on helping companies with Microsoft PowerPoint. And we changed her whole LinkedIn profile. And she actually now has a YouTube channel as well, because she just literally says, Louise, I'm just listening to you and I'm doing all the stuff that you're doing. And she's had a couple of 100,000 views now on her YouTube channel about Microsoft PowerPoint.
oh,
So she started creating video content about Microsoft PowerPoint on LinkedIn. And within, like, honestly, about 3 months of doing that, she started to get bookings her stories in my book. She started to get bookings for corporates. And because I would say follow people who you want to work with, and read their posts and be strategic about it. A client that she had done a piece of work for had posted and said, "Oh, we're getting a whole rebrand done in the business. So she then messaged him and says, "Oh, that's great news to hear." And then immediately wrote a LinkedIn post with a video on, don't forget, if your company's rebranding, you probably need to rebrand your PowerPoint slides. And this woman reached out to her and said, "Oh, that was really interesting what you said. Could you maybe have a conversation about this?" And she went up to Dublin to meet with them. And long story short, Susan, it turned into 80,000 euros worth of work.
Oh, how fantastic.
Isn't that fabulous?
That is brilliant.
I can't promise to make everyone 80,000 euros, but I can't, I'm not going to promise people will get work, but I think generally what I teach people works.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
And how about for you? Because obviously you are using it for your business.
Yeah.
Do you have any success story yourself that you're able to tell? Just
Yes.
me.
So my speaking career took off. So before the pandemic, I spoke in three places in 2019, Los Angeles, Peterborough, and
Hey, there
London.
ain't nothing wrong with Peterborough.
Dear. And actually spoke in Dublin as well, so it was four places. I remember there's an American man said, "I suppose you call yourself an international speaker because you spoke in Dublin." I was like, well, I mean, it is a different country.
Yeah,
But I have also spoken in
just there.
America.
That shows his ignorance.
Also was a bit rude, I thought.
Yes.
Anyway, so I thought, oh, I'm going to become a speaker. And then, of course, the pandemic was like, no, you're not. Although, interestingly, in the first year of the pandemic, I did speak at Vid Summit and another a podcast movement. So two big American conferences online. But anyway, so I thought, well, like, I'd really like to speak at events. So just through my network and connections, Susan, people will see me speaking at events and therefore they will see me as recognize me as a speaker on my LinkedIn experience section. You can see all the places that I've spoken at. And so this year I've been booked to speak in Edinburgh, um, California, Portugal, and Dublin again, Dublin International.
That's an international speaker.
Yes. But I did get there was one of my network, so she knew that I wanted to do more speaking gigs. This is a couple of years ago. And she'd been asked to go and speak in Bulgaria. And she just said, the timing wasn't right for her and her family. So she just messaged me and said, Louise, would you like to do this one instead? And
Oh,
that's the power of, your network being aware of what it is that you do and what
yes.
you want to be known for. So yeah, there's loads of things like that, Susan. Like I would say 90% of my work comes through my LinkedIn direct messages.
My first professional paid gig, I didn't realize
Mhm.
that you could get paid for speaking. And I want to tell people that you should get paid.
Yeah.
Somebody contacted me via LinkedIn back in 2020, 2015.
Oh,
So
wow.
this time 10 years ago. And she said, "How much do you charge?" I said, "Oh, well, my petrol money." And she said, "Well, I've got a four-figure budget for this, and I would
Oh,
like
wow.
to give that to you."
Happy. Well, thank goodness you're so honest.
Yeah. And I'm hugely grateful to her.
Yeah.
And this is a big association, a professional association, and I
Yeah.
still do work for them,
That's
different
amazing.
branches, and I'm
Yeah.
one of their preferred speakers, all from that one LinkedIn.
Yeah. And that's what I mean about being strategic about who's in your network.
Yes.
You know, it's because people will say, a lot of people will talk to me about, oh, I want to deliver workshops, so I need to connect with the HR people. And I'm
Yeah.
thinking, but HR people on LinkedIn try to not raise their head above the parapet because they
Oh,
know that everyone wants that.
absolutely.
So that's, but HR people are also humans.
Yeah.
They are human beings. So if you are having conversations with people who are in their network that they work alongside, then they are seeing you. They are seeing you and they're looking at your profile. I have an overwhelming amount of people looking at my profile now who are LinkedIn strategists, apparently.
Oh, right. Okay.
And I
Yes.
say apparently because I don't know that they really are.
Yeah. Now, before we finish, because I know that you've got something that you've got to rush on to,
Hmm.
what three tips would you like to share with the audience? And I can prompt you if you need me to.
Okay, you prompt me. I like a good
So
question.
get your foundations right first.
Yes, so important. And do you know what? It's it's really interesting how another thing that LinkedIn is becoming very like YouTube to my mind. One of my tips for 2026 is that you should start a YouTube channel.
Oh, well,
Uh,
I've got a YouTube channel and I do little videos and I'm trying to move them onto there and I need to,
yeah,
you know, code them, have the right um, information there.
I genuinely think every business owner who's listening to this needs to think about starting a YouTube channel because video builds trust. And LinkedIn or YouTube is only growing. I mean, it's gonna, you know how every man and his dog is a LinkedIn trainer nowadays, Susan.
I'm not, but I get where you, yes.
Gonna be the same way for YouTube. I think in a few years' time. I'm quite good at spotting things ahead of time. I don't know how I think it's because I'm such a fact finder. I'm always reading, I'm always learning, I'm always listening to things. But YouTube is it takes a while. It's like a hockey stick. It takes a while to get going, and then it just starts to go straight up. Um, but the thing it's the same as LinkedIn in terms of with the AI change on LinkedIn, is if you are answering people's questions and just being really focused in what you're creating content around, that's how you make YouTube work for you and as well as LinkedIn.
Brilliant.
Mm.
That is a massive tip for everybody
Yeah.
listening because this will be coming out in 2026 anyway. So
Yes.
get on it when you do that. Build a network of value so that when you share posts on LinkedIn, your network are interested in what you're going to say.
Yeah, I mean, if you one of my favorite analogies about LinkedIn is think of it like as being like an in-person networking event. So you or I would go to a networking event where we know we're going to meet people who we can have conversations with. I am not going to a conference about mechanical engineering, for example. It would be completely over my head. And as much as like my children are going to be engineers, brilliant. I would get lost in the conversation. So think about building a network of people who, when you start talking about something, they're actually interested in what you're talking about. So you go to a networking event, your profile is you walking in the door, dressed and ready for that networking event. So you're dressing your profile for the audience you're going to see. The people who are speaking on stages are the people who are creating content, writing and making videos on LinkedIn. And you and I in the audience, I might meet you on LinkedIn in the comments of one of the speakers' talks. So someone has a video, or like my friend Luke Sharon is talking about video marketing, video podcasts at the minute. So if I'm interested in that and I comment under his post, then other people who are following him who are also interested in that are commenting under his posts. That is the equivalent of me and those people sitting at a table watching him on stage talk about this topic. I'm finding people who are also interested in those topics in the comments, aka at the table. So, and when you think about it that way, it makes it much easier to approach as well because you just think, I'm just going into a room full of people who are interested in what I have to say, and we're all interested in the same topics.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Mm.
Now, before we finish,
Yes.
how can people get in contact with you?
Well, they can find me on LinkedIn.
Really?
I run regular webinars where I talk about this stuff and do proper, deep dives into what should you have on your profile and stuff. So connect with me on LinkedIn, but if you want to sign up for one of the free webinars, just go to louisebrogan.com/webinar and you will see the registration for the next one that's coming up.
Brilliant. And also, do you have any other resources? I know that you've got your book.
Well, I've got over 300 videos on YouTube about how to use LinkedIn, But I also have I have a lovely little guide. It's like 21 steps to get yourself in shape for LinkedIn. And that's you go to louisebrogan.com/21, as in 21 steps, and you can grab a copy of that. So that would
Oh,
be
brilliant.
a good starter, I think.
And I'll put all of that on the notes for this in case
Brilliant.
people are listening and they've not got a pencil. You can go to that.
Yes. And I'm doing my 12-week group program. Next one starts on the 20th of January, if this is out in time, if people want to check that out.
Okay, brilliant. I'll try and make sure that I prioritize yours in the
Lovely.
podcast. Thank you so much. Is there anything else you want to say? I want this is your time.
Oh, right. I feel like I've sent everyone to too many places. Just come and connect with me on LinkedIn and ask me questions. I can point you in the right direction.
Brilliant. Oh, thank you so much, Louise. There's so much that I'm going to have to go away with and fiddle around with LinkedIn now, and I'm going to be
Excellent.
doing a lot more with my new VA on the YouTube channel.
Brilliant. Yes, yes. Get out there on YouTube. Brilliant. Much, Susan.
I'd thank you so much, Louise, for your time, your energy, your expertise, and being so generous sharing your expertise with us.
Absolutely. I mean, a rising tide lifts all boats, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, definitely. So thank you very much. And thank you very much to the audience for listening. Again, if you've got questions for Louise, please contact her. And please listen again to my podcast and do leave a comment or recommend it. It is very, very welcomed. So thank you. Until next time, this is Susan Heaton-Wright from the SuperStar Communicator podcast.
Thank you.